And I starts now.
So everyone, this is Jeremy, business owner, CEO of Soul Mechanical Ltd. Jeremy's first love is his family and his second is Soul Mechanical. Jeremy has been in the mechanical industry for 23 years, holding various positions and titles throughout his career, all of which led him 5 years ago to take the leap and start doing things his way. Something you would not know about Jeremy is one night many years ago, Jeremy was forced to sleep on the floor of a mobile telecommunications center around the area of Zama Lake, as he was unable to get out due to snow and visibility. It was a long night, but when the morning came, the site was repaired and Jeremy was able to get back to his truck. This was actually the second time Jeremy was forced to sleep in a cell tower site. More on that in his presentation. And on that note, I will pass it over to Jeremy.
Thanks, Kelly. Appreciate that. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jeremy, and I am the CEO, owner of Soul Mechanical. We are a full-service mechanical contracting company. What does that mean? Well, I hope that by the end of my presentation, you'll have a better understanding of what that is and what we do. Who is Jeremy? I like to have fun. I love Halloween. I love to volunteer. My background is I am a Red Seal journeyman refrigeration mechanic. I started in the trades 25 years ago, maybe even more. Got my ticket building grocery stores and refrigeration systems. Moved on from that to work for a company looking after telecommunication sites. I looked after their air conditioning for TELUS, which is where I had to sleep in a cell tower in the middle of nowhere because I had to hike in 2 kilometers and I got snowed in and slept there. The second time I had to sleep in a cell tower was during the rain in Provost, drove my truck into a farmer's field and I buried it past the headlights. Could not get a D9 cat till the next day. Luckily, I had my dog with me and we both slept in that tower until morning when we got dug out. After taking off of that illustrious career there, I went on to look after provincial buildings, some prisons, youth detention centers, provincial buildings. I was the lead refrigeration mechanic and I had 9 building operators that worked for me. During that time, I got to chatting with somebody, SNC Lavalin, who looked after Bell Canada, and I made the leap off the tools to start my illustrious world in the office. I looked after Bell Canada's switching centers and their telecommunication sites in Northern Alberta, and I also managed their data centers across Western Canada. After a couple of years of life on the road, I grew tired of never being home. I was always gone. It was a great job, but gone all the time. I was offered a role back with a company I worked for many years ago, selling HVAC systems and plumbing systems very similar to what I do today. I accepted that role, went to Ainsworth. I was there for 4 years, but never seemed happy. I was always looking for something else. Left them to go work for Siemens, probably the single biggest mistake of my life. It's a giant corporation. I hated every second of it. I knew the second I walked in the door. Day one, I sat there and I knew. I lasted 6 months. I was typing up my resignation letter and my boss happened to walk by me and see it on my computer screen. Shortly thereafter, I went to another company called Concept. I started up their HVAC division in Edmonton, and within less than a year, they were Alberta-wide. They actually went bankrupt. Shortly before their bankruptcy, it really came to my mind that I don't like working for other people. So Soul Mechanical was born in the back of my mind and I had started working on it. I had one really big problem. I had no money and 3 kids and a wife. So what do? I signed back on with the union and I went to Fort McMurray and I worked a 7-on, 7-off shift for a year, working 12/7s and then coming back and running Soul Mechanical and kind of trying to pretend it was a company that existed for that year and made my way through until one day my wife looked at me and said, "You make a decision. I don't care what it is. It's one or the other. 1 day off every 2 weeks is not working." So I guess we all know the decision. I picked Soul Mechanical and have never looked back since. I couldn't talk about me more and then without talking about my family and my wife. I do have a very unhealthy love of Halloween. This is my family during COVID. My wife, Gloriana, some of you know our troubles over the last couple of years. My wife fought cancer for 2 years. We're in a good place now, but if she knew I showed this picture, she'd kill me, but it really shows who she is. So this is about a year ago in the middle of COVID, in the middle of chemo treatments on a shitty bad day. And there's my wife smiling, helping me lay floor in our kitchen, you know, when most people were feeling sorry for themselves. So she is my inspiration and I just had to share that with you guys. Next is my son, Mason. This is the day he got his learner's license. I don't think I've seen him smile that big since. And that might be the last time he ever drives our vehicles. So we'll see what happens next. My daughter, Lily, She's a firecracker, much like her father, loves a lot of the same things I do. We have a ton of fun together. And my youngest is Hudson. That's with our relatively new dog, Nino, on his head. He is a good mix of his mom and his dad. Couldn't talk about family without my work family, because if you work at Soul Mechanical, I consider you family. Find a group of people who challenge and inspire you, spend a lot of time with them, and it will change your life. There is nothing truer. I'm just going to roll through a few pictures. Just we've had a year. We managed to get a few things in. This was our first company barbecue, and jeepers, who knows, a couple of years because of COVID. Thomas came out and joined us, thankfully. That's Jeremy, my project manager. You can see how much he likes having his picture taken. Troy and Jason. I don't really want to get into everything, but I know I love my team, and it's things like this that always brought me back to it. This was my 40th birthday. I came in the morning to find my office door taped closed, only to open it to find it completely filled with balloons and happy birthday stuff. It was a great day, and I completely appreciated the effort that everybody put in. We were able to have a Halloween party this year. I'm not a huge Christmas fan, so this year I said, screw Christmas, I'm having a Halloween party. And we rented Endeavor, and everybody got together, and they came out in wonderful costumes and participated, and I think a great time was had by all, and I had a super fun time. So enough about that side. Why Soul Mechanical? Why use us? Why work with us? Why? We care. We try to work. You know, we've got the anti-bullying initiative that Kelly helped us out with. So nice to get the stuff. I often catch my staff wearing them all the time now. It's open door any day they want to wear them. They're more than welcome to. I love hot pink. I love seeing them in them. Every Child Matters, another initiative we call through. Same thing, anytime. We love them to wear it on job sites, wherever it is. Just support these causes. We've been working really hard and kind of focusing in on who we are and what we do. I don't have time to go through all that with you today, but if we can book a one-to-one, I'd love to go through our core values and get into more detail of some of the things that make us who we are. One of the other things we've been working on a long time is the total solution. Yeah, kind of cheesy, but that's what it is. Again, if we ever, get to do a one-to-one, I'll go through all the steps with you, but it's really kind of what our building blocks for how we deliver service, how we deliver projects, and how we're trying to do better. Nuts and bolts. What do we actually do? We're a full service mechanical. We service and repair any kind of heating or water equipment 24 hours a day. Maintenance contracts, we'll design, build your mechanical system. We do residential, commercial, and light industrial, and sheet metal work. Some examples of that is just a residential air conditioner. So some sheet metal work on a roof where we replaced rooftop units on obviously much nicer days than today. This was a property manager whose furnace lit up on fire. They called us, so it went from fire to fixed in less than 12 hours. We removed it, had it cleaned, had a new one up and running, and the place going. So we're not afraid of quick work either. If something needs to be done, we'll find our way. Install all kinds of heaters, garage heaters, patio heaters, tube heaters, tiki torches, whatever you may or someone may need. We're not afraid of hard work either. This is a furnace and duct system in a crawl space underneath a cabin. 3 guys got to spend the better part of a week under there and smiled the entire time they did it. Well, so they tell me anyways. We get into some complicated stuff too, you may not know. This is a data server room air conditioning system that we put in for Bell Canada downtown. Everything from road closures to crane lifts to, we get into just about anything air conditioning and HVAC. Furnace and hot water tank, do lots of residential, love doing that. It's kind of my favorite because I like the personal touch that comes with it. Service is what we do. That's where we are. These are just some of my guys fixing things, everything from rooftops to furnaces to makeup airs to boilers to, if it's got gas or water to it, we'll probably look after it. What I wanted to do is just take a few minutes, because I'll tell you over these last few weeks, I've come to learn that there's a lot of people who don't know what to do when it's cold. So I want to run you guys through a few things. If something happens with your furnace or your hot water tank, what's a few things that you can do either before calling us or calling someone else to try to get your situation taken care of? First one is your thermostat turned on? I can't tell you how many times I go to somebody's house and their battery is dead and they don't even have it, or it's not visual. So check that out. Make sure it's good. Have you changed your furnace filter lately? Take it out, have a look. Once you've gone through that, you're going to check outside for your vent if you have a high efficient furnace, if it's got some ice buildup on it. I'll show you a picture of that in a second. Once you've gone through all those steps, you can reset the power on your furnace as long as there's nothing glaring. You can either use the breaker or switch, reset it, and if the error code was something small, it'll reset and it'll operate. And I'll get into what not to do in a sec. This is what frozen vent pipes look like, guys. It doesn't take a lot of ice to stop it. We've had them where there's only even just a quarter of an inch in them. So if you have high efficient equipment, hot water tanks or furnaces, make sure you're checking them, especially in this extreme cold. It doesn't take long. And we've done a lot of calls where it's 10 seconds of beating away some ice. So, try to get ahead of that and don't let it happen to you or anybody you know. Dirty filters, just giving you a picture showing you, right? Like change those filters. I can't tell you how many times. Every 3 months generally is good, guys. You don't want to change them too often either, because a filter actually gets better as it gets a little dirtier. It actually traps more stuff. Pay attention to the arrow and the airflow in which it goes, making sure you're putting it in right. If you're ever not sure, feel free to give me a call. Happy to help you with it. And if all of that doesn't work, we're here 24 hours a day. Give us a call. We'll take care of you. We'll come on out. Things not to do, and I say this tongue in cheek, do not turn your thermostat up to 30. If it won't go to 20, it won't go to 30. There's no point. Make sure it's on heat. If it's not there, doing that will not help. And if something is wrong, it may continue to keep trying even more. Do not troubleshoot yourself. If you smell gas or see sparks or any of that kind of stuff, don't look at it yourself. Get a hold of your gas provider if you want, or call a licensed professional. If you go through the steps I showed you before, you reset your furnace and it works, don't keep doing that. If that happens another time and another time, call a professional. Something is wrong and it needs to be looked at. And if you keep doing that, you're probably making it worse and it will cause you a problem. That's a get through it once. Maybe it's frozen up and everything's good. That's fine. Don't wait to call. I can't tell you how many people we hear, well, it wasn't working 2 days ago and now it's Friday at 4 o'clock. Well, I can tell you Friday at 4 o'clock on a -30 day, we're back 6 calls already. So if something's wrong, try to get ahead of it as fast as you can, especially in extreme temperatures. And it's no different. Every company is working as hard as they can to keep everybody warm. Filter types and sizes, guys. The ones on the left, those are the cheapest filters money can buy. They're not filtering anything. Don't use them unless you really don't care. Especially if you have air conditioning, make sure you're using the one on the right, a good pleated filter. That'll stop and keep everything clean. You can go to 4-inch filters, 5s or 6s. They're great too, and they only need to be changed a couple times a year. The problem with that one is if you forget about it, there's a good chance it's going to kill your furnace if you leave that in there and it plugs up, because it will not offload. These smaller filters, if you forget about them, they will not ruin your furnace or block your airflow completely. Just something to keep in mind. What's a great referral for me? Property managers, realtors, restoration companies, building owners, and obviously people you like to deal with. We like to work with people that are friendly, fun, and caring. So if you have people like that in your industry or that need some help, we love to work with them. Once again, thanks everybody. Many of you have used our services. I really do appreciate it. Jeremy with Soul Mechanical, never compromise. That's all I got for you today.
D&I starts now. Like everyone says it.
Are we all saying it? I'm confused.
What are you saying now?
Do we all say D&I? Oh, terrible.
Yeah.
Starts meow.
Meow.
Do you want
You
us to
say
say
it.
D&I?
Say it more casually. Like
Yeah.
we're not trying to rehearse the most impossible phrase in the world.
Now.
Oh,
Now.
D&I
starts now.
Oh.
D&I
Starts
starts
now.
Slow.
What was the best one yet?